Good morning, OPNS family. It is Fabulous Friday. And of course, I look forward to Fabulous Friday every Friday because it's something about rising bright and early in the morning. I don't know, my mind was just in a peaceful place this morning. And when you say peace, I equate that with being a fabulous mindset, a fabulous moment, a fabulous day. So welcome OPNS family as we get ready to feast on this blessed day. We have none other than Mr. Eugene Poole, who has been with us dedicated for the last 6 weeks. And honey, he has fed us, and I am good and full. So as we prepare to eat some more, Mr. Poole, welcome this morning. How are you this morning?
I'm fine. Good morning, Sancha. It's always a pleasure, and I praise God for being on your program and listening, working with your listeners. Thank you so much.
Amen. Amen. Keeping God in the forefront, just like I like it. Amen.
Mhm.
So, okay, to those of you that are chiming in that may be new to our Fabulous Fridays, listen, we have started this thing and kept it going with Mr. Eugene Poole from Benefits a lot. Give the name of your company. It seems like I keep
Yes.
saying it
Yeah.
wrong.
Align Benefits Group Incorporated.
See, and he specializes definitely in helping us understand, you know what, just how important health coverage is in our life. Is a matter of fact, a lot of people think when you say health coverage, okay, you just wanted some insurance. But Mr. Poole has taught us for the last 6 weeks that good health equals to good wealth, and it's just been so many different things and so many tricks of the trades. And I say tricks of the trades because it was things that you just really don't think about if you're not in the know. So I'm excited about this Fabulous Friday here with you, Mr. Poole. So I guess we can go ahead and start where you want to start because I'm ready and I got my pen and my paper and I'm taking notes.
Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. So I just wanted to remind everyone that the December 15th is going to be the last day in most parts of the country regard to regard to the open season. Hang on a second here. For all things radio, this thing should come on here.
Digital world is
It's a
beautiful.
digital
Gotta
world.
love it.
So December 15th for most states, but New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania is January 15th. So they have a little bit more time to get into open enrollment. The other thing I remind everybody is this: don't make the mistake of thinking that you don't want to do open enrollment because you have to make a commitment in terms of payments and things like that. Because remember, once you're in the system, if your income goes down, all you do is let them know, and they will adjust your payment down. It's sort of
Mhm.
like an adjustable rate mortgage, but you just tell them, I don't have any money or I lost my job or whatever, and they will automatically they'll tell you what the new rate is, and oftentimes it becomes free. So it depends on where you are at what point in time. So this is one of the few times when you're in a program like this, you want to report changes in your income. They give you the opportunity to report it, and they will make the adjustments for you. So
Okay,
don't
so
let
you
that.
know that there's a
Mhm.
fear factor there, right?
Yes.
It's like, okay, so if I lost my money and I'm
Right.
gonna tell you that I lost my money, I
Right.
automatically assume that I'm gonna lose my coverage.
No, no, no. You lose your coverage if you don't pay. But what
Okay.
happens is that if you tell them, they will adjust the premiums accordingly so that you can afford it. And if you have zero income, chances are you'll get either a free version or Medicaid if you qualify for Medicaid. But not saying anything, suffering in silence, is what actually kills you
That's good. Suffering
financially.
in silence. That's good. That's good. So basically, you're letting us know don't allow fear to
Right.
con us, out of
Uh,
just how blessed we are right now, because
that's
there's an
correct.
opportunity. And if I'm afraid of something, that means I'm walking in the unknown. And because I'm fearful of the unknown, now I'm costing myself across the board.
Yeah. And another thing about fear um, is this: when you have fear and you have a certain belief about things, even if someone shows you in light of evidence that your fear is unfounded, a lot of people will work very hard to prove that their fear is well founded.
It's valid. Yeah.
They actually
Yeah.
fight against the truth. And so what happens is that whatever you believe, that becomes your reality. And then if you find different information and you don't respond to that new information or the correct information, then you're kind of putting yourself back into the rut of what you
Mm-hmm.
believe.
Mm-hmm.
Some people hear new information or see new information or proven this new information, and no matter what you tell them, they keep going right back to where they were.
The same old thing.
You see, so
Why
that
is that? Is that because we're comfortable or just drowning in the fear?
it's a combination of the fear. It's also a combination of wanting to be right. I told you so. I told you that wouldn't
Okay.
work. That boy,
Okay.
that boy went up to play that baseball team. I knew that they were going to discriminate against him. Yeah, but if Jackie Robinson gave into his fear, we would never have
We would never
African
have a
Americans in
Jackie Robinson.
baseball. You
That's
know,
right. That's good.
if
That's
we,
good.
you never, they say a turtle never gets anywhere until it sticks its neck out. So a turtle, has his house with him all the time.
Right.
Now he can stick his head in his house thinking that he's safe, but he won't see the truck or the bulldozer coming down the road that's about to crush his house until
That's good, Mr. Poole.
he sticks his neck out, and then he sees
That's
it,
good.
and then he gets out the way.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
So a lot of
Okay.
people they want to stay within themselves, and they won't venture out at all, and that's what hurts us a lot.
That's real good. And that very well put. Now, one of the things that we were talking about before we came uh, uh, live, you were talking about our accountability
Hmm.
and us having to be reachable
Hmm.
in order to find out
Hmm.
what I consider to be blessed opportunities
Right.
that are available to us.
Hmm.
Could you, uh, emphasize on that? What do you mean by being reachable?
Yeah. So what happens in our society, we have the world of paper where we send you paper notices. We use the postal service. But what's happened in the digital age, I would say since really 2000, we have morphed into an electronic digital age.
Yeah.
And because we are there, that means that we have to have these smartphones. You still need a laptop today, no matter what
Right.
anybody tells you.
That's
And you
right.
got to have internet coverage. You
Right.
got to have email because the communication today is so fast and so instantaneous. You can get things nipped in the bud today. Like when I do the Affordable Care Act, when I work with my clients, when we key in the information, at the end of that session, as many people know, we have a decision right then and there. We're not waiting for a human being to make the decision. The computers have artificial intelligence. They know if your income is this and you live in this zip code and blah blah blah. These are the carriers that are available to you, and you have a decision immediately. But if you're still trying to send paper back and forth, if you're still trying to call somebody, you can't get anybody on the phone. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you see,
Yeah.
when everything else is like instantaneous. You see,
Yeah.
so if you don't have a laptop or smartphone or any of those things, or you feel like you don't need it, or you don't want to mess with the contraptions, as they say, then you're missing out on a tremendous blessing where your life could change almost immediate because you have ability to communicate electronically with the system.
This is really good. And one of the things that I was talking about was, you're right. We got to be reachable. I agree. If it's not the cell phone, I asked Ambassador Young in an interview last week what's significantly different in today's times,
And he
and he
said,
automatically waved the phone.
"That's right."
He's like, this thing here. We can reach so many places all at one time with this thing here. But then, unfortunately, you have a lot of people, Mr. Poole,
Hmm.
that either don't have this thing here,
Hmm.
can't afford this thing here, or
Hmm.
don't know where to go to get this thing here, which seems a little okay. Are you serious? But when it all comes down to it, I totally agree. You have to be reachable. We're in the middle of COVID right now. People have
Hmm.
lost their jobs, which means have lost the ability to be able to pay for a cell phone, or pay for the internet, or
Hmm.
and all of those things. So how would we be reachable in
Yes.
times like this?
Well, there are a couple of things. One is that if you talk to some of the cell phone companies, they have very inexpensive and oftentimes free phones, and you pay as you go, so to speak. Um,
Hmm.
the other thing that causes problems is we don't have a debit card You,
Mm-hmm.
I can see a lot of people don't have credit cards, but you have to have at least a debit card,
I agree.
to because now a lot of these places are going cashless.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of legislation in the country trying to stop society becoming cashless because a lot of people are what we call non-bank people. They
Mm-hmm.
don't have a banking account, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but they do need a debit credit card type of account to pay for things
Mm-hmm.
because so you have that. There's ability to get free phones. Then you have the ability to go to the public library still, and even if you don't have a computer or a phone, you can go to the public library, and most public libraries have computers
Mm-hmm.
that you use for free.
So it's almost like you're saying, "Hey, stop the excuses.
Hmm.
Let's do something."
Yeah, there's a way. If there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, then there we have our friends and family that would be happy to let you use their computer or whatever to get in, to log in, to answer a question, that type of thing. So you can get an email on your phone and you can either respond by your phone or you can go to a friends and respond that way. So you gotta, but if you're really depressed or you're really feeling really bad about things all the time, you won't think of the most obvious answers to something because sometimes it's not only depression but it's also pride, personal pride. Pride gets in the way, fear gets in
Pride
the
gets in
way.
the way. Yes.
All those things get in the way of you,
Yes. Yes.
receiving your blessing.
I spoke with a young lady this morning. I'm always grateful when God, chooses to use me and people reach out. And one of the things that we were talking about is how you allow this thing to control your moves and what you allow in it, she was definitely feeling weighted. And one of the things that I said to her, even with here at the station, OPNS 97.1, this station was created to reach and teach God's people, to take and motivate them to a better place via, the knowledge field interviews like we're doing right now, or just with the music that is in rotation, the nuggets that is in rotation. So, for her to say, well, you know what? I'm actually going to start tuning in to try and reshape my mind.
Hmm.
That's what I thought about when you just said. The bottom line is we have to do something. It is
Right.
very easy to fold in the convenience of an excuse.
Hmm.
And I reference Ambassador Young. We had the pleasure of interviewing him at OPNS last week, him along with the incomparable Mr. Nona Clayton. And one of the things that I picked up from both of them, these people were fighting when we didn't have the things that we have now, and
Right.
have, been able to get so many things done, even with where you sit right now, even us being able to talk about something like the Affordable Care Act. There was some labor and things that had to go into play in order to get us where we are now. So I do agree, as a people, it is easy for us to take and fold with the excuses, but I think Mr. Poole is saying clearly, clearly, do something,
Hmm.
figure it out, find a way, because doing nothing is going to hurt you worse.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm, okay.
So what happens is that, well, this also brings up the fact why we have to have faith in our life. Prayer and faith in your life is what changes your attitude. It changes the atmosphere. It changes the mindset. When you go from feeling sorry for yourself or being angry, those two things, feeling sorry and being angry, those things eat at you.
Yeah.
And therefore, when people meet you, they sense in your spirit that you're angry.
Yeah.
And when people meet angry people, they run away from them.
Yes.
Even if they wanted to bless them, they're too afraid.
Yeah.
What is this person going to do next? You know, and are they going to blow up on me?
Right.
I'm just trying to help. I'm just
You're
trying.
making a good point.
You know. So I mean, this kind of thing just goes on and on all the time. And I just I just say, listen, guys, we got to pray, and we got to just take a little bit of time just to give ourselves a chance to heal and give ourselves a chance to succeed and let God bless us. Just give God a chance in our life.
I'm gonna tell you, Mr. Poole, even if I had not gotten it, if I didn't know you before these last 6 weeks, and if I hadn't gotten to know you, so much better in these last 6 weeks, that statement that you made just right there.
Hmm.
Because even though we're talking about, you're here educating us on your business and how it, will best suit us to take and arm ourselves the right way to be able to be protected, health and wealth. But the foundation is God. The
Hmm.
foundation is prayer. The foundation is I am giving up my time, my energy, my money, my space to help teach you different, to help grow you to a better place. And that is why I know without a shadow of a doubt what we're doing here. I know that God is pleased. There's been so many people that have inboxed me, oh my goodness, I never looked at that thing that way, or I never, thought about it that way. And I just do believe that, we are fulfilling a purpose right here. I want to, I wrote it down earlier, isn't it? Like dealing with the double-edged sword. We're needing to position ourselves. We're needing to do different things to make sure that we have access to all of the programs that are available to us. But in the middle of COVID right now, people are really trying to make sure that they can pay their next bill.
Hmm.
What would you say in reference to that? Okay, well, that next bill that I'm focused on is not necessarily health coverage because I don't need that.
Right.
I'll get that eventually.
Right.
What would you say to that? Because I heard you say earlier there was a time when you told people, hey, go ahead and get yourself a computer. Go ahead and get yourself a laptop. Oh, I don't need it. I can do this and I can do that. But then something like COVID happens.
Right.
And now where it is that you're needing to be connected that way,
Right.
now it's made harder. So what would
Yes.
you tell people when it comes down to prioritizing the bills that you're feeling like you need to pay right
Excuse me.
now?
So,
Mm-hmm.
so here's the thing. Excuse me. Somehow I got
Mm-hmm.
a little sneezing here.
Mm-hmm.
The main thing right now is this. First, you start your day off with prayer. Now, what prayer does, it calms you down and it puts you into a different state of mind. Now, here's what happens. Let's talk about bills. The thing with bills is that you don't want to wait till you're late to ask for help.
Mm.
The way it works, see, once you're late, especially like with the credit bureau and all that stuff, they report it as late. So your credit score takes a hit. And sometimes being late as much as 30 days can be on your credit report for as much as 3 years. Just one 30-day lateness. And hits your score for so many points.
Right.
However, if you negotiate with the bill pay, the people you have to pay the bills with before it's late, it's a different negotiation and it may not be reported as late. Number one.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, since they already know you've asked for help, okay, almost every creditor now has a program to help you get through this pandemic. Whether it's your car payment, your rent, whatever they can do, you start your conversation with them early before you are late. Okay.
Gotcha.
So, and I have to tell you, I've got this one client of mine. He was like really nervous and uptight. And so he couldn't make his truck payment. So we told him, I said, look, um, call the people and tell them what your situation is. So he was just scared. He was paralyzed with fear. He wouldn't even call. So he called the people. The people said, we were wondering when you're going to call us. Yeah, we got programs for you. You need 3 months? you need you need 6 months? Even the mortgages. We have something in the mortgage industry called forbearance.
Yes.
And the forbearance, what they can do, they can take the payment that you may owe now and put it on the back of the loan. You know,
Right.
they can move it out. So what happens
Right.
that way you get to stay in the house without worrying about being, evicted or what have you. But if you don't call and if you just stew in all the soup, so to speak, and never make the call, you see, you got to take that anger and that emotion and put it into action, positive action.
That's right.
Communicate, communicate, communicate. Let them know as far in advance as you can, and before you know it, things are working, and you won't even get dinged on the credit. Oftentimes, and depending upon what it is. But if you make your arrangements because you go in there with the right spirit, you don't call them up angry and then share your anger with them and how they're ripping you off and all this kind of stuff. I mean, you know, they can't hear all that.
Right.
Your issue is, listen, it's a COVID. I just got laid off. I won't be able to make the payment this month. What can we do? And then let them tell you. They will tell you, well, we have this program. We can do this. We can give you up to 6 months delay. We can reduce your payment. We can do this. That's going on everywhere.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something funny. So I bought a car this week, and because it was my grandson's car, and every time we went to the dealer, it's like this thing's becoming more and more of a money pit. I said,
Mm-hmm.
I said, the car's out of warranty. Now you got this because you didn't get that repaired on time. This is going to happen. The tires are going to wear out. I just thought to myself, I said, what a money pit. So I started moseying around to the front of the dealership, started looking around, and so one salesperson came in, can I help you with anything? I said, no, I'm good. Then the second salesman came up and said, hey, Mr. Poole, we got a special deal going on right now. I said, what is it? So, we got a deal. We'll pay off your car. We'll do this. We'll give you a brand new car. We'll give you a 3-year warranty. We'll give you this. We'll give you that. I said, let's sit down and talk the numbers.
All right.
And we sat down and talked the numbers. And before my grandson knew it, he had the keys to a new car because the manufacturer was making the offer, not the dealer, but the manufacturers stepped in.
Right.
And they're offering warranties and deals I'd never seen before. Ever.
Right.
It was almost like, do you have a heartbeat? We can get you financed.
And just think, I get it. What if you would have just turned and walked away because of the first thing?
Yeah.
What if I get exactly what you're saying.
Because my thing is that always be willing to listen. Don't throw everything away before you see what happens. If I had just used my emotion in that moment, I just said, let me listen and let me look at the math behind it. When I realized the mathematics was in my favor, I said, this is a no-brainer. Yeah, where do I sign? And I did it. I walked in the dealership. I had no idea. I wasn't even planning on buying a new car. But when they showed me all the programs they had, and I weighed, do I spend all this money into this money pit, trying to keep repairing this car and keep it on the road? Or do I get a brand new one with a brand new warranty and don't have to worry about this for whatever time period?
Right.
So I did it. I was like, yeah, we're going to do it. My grandson, he was so shocked. He was like, he said, Granddad, what just happened?
The blessings that are on the other side of being outside of your feelings is what I heard of being on the other side of what you think, how you think a thing should go, or how, and personally for me, even with the open enrollment, I was blessed to go through this process with you. And my last quote on insurance was $300 and something a month.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at my situation, looking at my reality, I didn't think I could get anything less than that,
Mm-hmm.
And so here I am letting it be known, yeah, I did,
Mm-hmm.
significantly less. But I had to take the time. Okay, back up. I had to make the time
Yes.
to be able to sit down and be involved in the structuring of my now.
Yes.
And a lot of people are so focused on the gray areas of today's time.
Yes.
We got even though the election is over, it ain't over.
Right.
Even though, it's,
Yeah, right.
and COVID, it seemed like to be the cherry on top of that craziness and just so many other things that is going on. It has our focus,
Yes.
but which means we're going to lose an opportunity to arm ourselves the correct way. I don't know if I shared this last week, but I'm definitely going to share it now. I was talking about the COVID testing, and we had a COVID scare in my home, and had to go get the test done, and found out that if you did not have a certain insurance, you had to pay out of pocket for the COVID test. Now, common sense for me was, this is a pandemic. Aren't we trying to find out who all is sick, who all need the help? We need to shut this down. We need to do that. So, in my mind, my perfectly, this perfect world syndrome, the test should be free, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we want to make sure that everybody's not sick.
Right.
But then to have a nurse say, oh, no, we don't honor your insurance, that'll be $169. It got my attention to reposition myself, equip myself better to where I'm covered and I don't have to worry about being turned down for things like that or denied for things like that. So going from the insurance position that I was in to now taking advantage of the Affordable Care Act, I made my situation better. And it
Hmm.
did not take long at all, you know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be able to say that to you all, to the OPNS family today, because seeing is believing. And then definitely the fact that, you know, I've gone through it myself. I just really do understand the fact and the concept of doing what it takes to position yourself the right way so you don't deal with the negative domino effect down the line. So definitely positioning yourself before a situation creates a hardship, and then you
Yes.
can't, you
And
know,
then
do
and
what
then
you.
and then on top of that, just because you run into a little ripple here and there that requires a bit more time, don't give up when you see that either. Because what I find is that a lot of people, the blessings that it's right around the corner, and when they see any sign of trouble or complication, they're ready to give up and run. That happens at the right at the point of their blessing.
That's
And,
right.
and
Oh,
I'm like, you got to hang in there. If you trust the Lord and you trust God, believe and trust the Lord with all your heart and all your soul and all your might, and stick with that. Stick with that in all of your endeavors. I'm telling you, there are things that many of us who have gone through life have thought we would never be able to climb certain mountains. Never thought we'd be able to do it.
you're right.
But we
You
stayed
are
in
so
church,
right.
we sang our songs, we baked our pies, we sold our dinners and fish dinners and all that stuff. And we stayed the course. And by us staying the course, when Barack Obama became president, there was that I mean, like my parents' lifetime, that was like never thought that could happen. If the black
Hmm.
population is 10 or 12 or 13% of the black population, how is this possible?
Yeah,
It's possible because of the belief, and we tried to play by the rules. We tried to be honorable and decent, and we just stayed the course. When it comes to yourself and your life and your blessings, like I said before, don't give up at the first sign of trouble, because those things are to come in due time, but you must remain diligent, because oftentimes it's not what you think. When I was growing up in New York City, I was auditioning for the All City High School Orchestra, classical music, right?
okay.
So I felt bad because I didn't think I had done the best that I really could do. So I got a postcard from him asking me to come back for a second audition. And I was crying my mom and dad about the situation. So my parents said, "Hey, if first you don't succeed, try again."
Try again.
So so my parents encouraged me to go back for the second audition. So I thought I had failed, right? Come to find out, I had passed. They were just trying to figure out if I was going to be in the All City Orchestra or the All City Band. So I completely misread
Right.
the postcard,
That's good. That's
thinking,
good, Mr. Poole.
thinking that I had failed. They
Yeah.
said, no, no, no. We have you come back for a second interview because we want to hear a little bit more about your ability to play. And we're going to make a determination whether or not you're going to be in the orchestra or the band. The best players will go to the orchestra. The second best players will go to the band. It was just that simple. But if my parent had encouraged me, I would have been depressed, never went back for my blessing. All because of what I thought it was, and they said they saw something else. And
That's very.
that's how it is in healthcare. The things that you see and the things that I see, the information is in English, but it means something completely different to you than what it means to me.
Then okay. That's good.
I have a completely different understanding of what you see versus what I see. And that I've been doing this for 40 years, I would think I have a little bit more insight into the process of how this thing works.
Mm.
So, as I said before, because a lot of people say, I'm intelligent. I should be able to read. My mama told me to read. I don't do everything. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I got that. But this is a language you may not understand.
Right. Right.
Listen, my clients, I have doctors, I have lawyers, I have CPAs, I have tons of well educated people, and they still don't understand it. We have members of Congress that don't understand it.
Mm, right.
Okay.
Right.
Our association, that we have a lobby group that lobbies Congress all the time, and they tell us all the time, they say, look, we have to explain it to the congressmen so that they even understand what they're voting on.
People don't understand that if it's not your area, if it's not
Yes,
the place that you play in every day,
that's
don't
right.
automatically assume that you know better than the expert, which
Hmm.
is why I know that this is a good move for us to make.
Hmm.
You have really broadened how I look at situations. And guess what? I had to go to the hospital last week and I did
Hmm.
not go off on the little lady that was asking me all the questions. I
Right,
told you that
right,
in the
right, right,
third week. She used to get on my nerves.
right.
But then when you explained to me, wait a minute, they're there actually to find out if there is something that they can do to help you. And
Right.
I'm getting frustrated because of my feelings, my emotions. Why are you asking me all of that? Like I don't have insurance. I'm not asking you for a handout. We got to get out of our flesh. We got to
Yes.
get out of being easily so offended and just you taught me that, you
Hmm.
know, with her. And I look, it's amazing. When I sat there, I laughed. They didn't know what I was laughing at, but I was in a different headspace and I was in the know. And I think that is
Yes.
exactly what this is doing for all of our OPNS listeners and followers, is placing us in the know so we'll know what best move to make, how to better
Absolutely.
equip ourselves, how to better, so let's recap again. We talked about December 15th being the deadline
Right.
in the state of
And most
Georgia,
right, most other states except for New York,
most
New
states,
Jersey, right.
and New York, New Jersey, and where is
And,
Gene?
and Pennsylvania, theirs is just is going to be January 15th. And I think
Okay,
it's like, that in some states on the West Coast too. It may be something like that as
okay.
well. I think California might have the same thing because they usually
So I'll just
progress.
say other
Other
states.
states, yeah,
January 15th.
right.
Okay. And so the opportunity is there, guys. Now, now make the time. Make the time. You'll be more. You'll be what am I trying to say? You'll love the fact that you made the time to position yourself better, as opposed to not making the time, falling ill, and now having extremely large bill.
Yeah, see, because when you position yourself, you say, what are we positioning ourselves for? You're positioning yourselves to protect yourself against unlimited liability. That's what you're
Okay.
doing. You're positioning yourself to protect yourself from unlimited liability, to put things in an affordable way that you can actually afford. That's essentially what you're doing.
I noticed something on my when we were filling out for my health insurance. There was the first thing that always scares people is how big the hospital bills are going to be.
Right.
And I can say to you, in years past, I've gone to the hospital. Yes, I've had the insurance that I had, but I always received a bill,
Right.
and the bill that I always received was significantly higher
Hmm.
than what I was just quoted by signing up with the open enrollment as to what my cap would be in the run of a year.
That's right.
So let me say it this way. In the run of a year, with the insurance that I just obtained via open enrollment, I'm going to pay significantly less in a year's time, not per procedure,
Right.
in a year's time,
Right.
than I would have in past time paying per procedure.
That's correct. That's
That
correct.
blew my mind.
Yes. And your premiums are going to be less than any bill that you could ever
Yes,
per procedure too.
yes, yes.
Yeah, because you're budgeting. You're putting in a budget so that you become part of this global community of people who are insured, and so we're pooling our resources to get a big discount on the bills that we get from the hospitals and the doctors. That's
So
what we're
where
doing.
we're allowing the fear of the unknown to
Hmm.
cost us this blessed opportunity, where we're
Yes,
we're allowing the things that we don't understand, the things that we haven't studied to show ourselves approve on, we're allowing that fear to create bill after bill after bill after bill after
right,
bill, as
right.
opposed to repositioning ourselves by making sure that we have the health coverage that we need, and at least knowing what our cap is,
That's
which
right.
makes it easier to budget my bills.
That's right.
Mr. Poole, Mr. Poole. Okay.
And the thing about all this is that, remember, the statistics are this: when it comes to hospitals, we know that the average person in America cannot come up with $400 for a hospital bill.
Amen.
That's the average in the country.
Amen.
Now, me being in the business, I understand all that. See, so when people talk to me, they think, "Oh, you're just this big insurance guy. You don't know." Then I know it in my sleep. I know it before you. I know it before you walk in the door. I know where you are before, almost before you tell me.
Yeah.
But I give you the opportunity to tell me. I just don't assume things. I give you the opportunity to share with me what it is you're up against and what your big fears are, so that I can best find ways to position you to win. Now, a lot of people look at insurance, and especially in the African American community, we've always had this thing about, the guy that's coming to collect the premiums and sick the dog on them and all this kind of
Right.
stuff.
Right.
You know,
Right.
or sometimes they've had bad experience with insurance companies, and I can understand a lot of this historical. There are a lot of historical reasons why we have this almost animosity with insurers, and some of it justified, some of it not. But the reality for us today is this: if we don't get ourselves into the community of insureds, when we have 60% of all bankruptcies in America is due to medical bills,
Mm,
50% of people that lose their homes is due to medical bills. Can you imagine that the number one reason for filing bankruptcy is medical bills? Not anything else, not any other bill, medical bills. Can you imagine that?
when all you have to do is reposition yourself
Yes, you
for
just
that not to be the
but
situation.
for that. So that is one of my missions in this business. I'm trying to find a way to stem that tide by coming on programs like yours at OPNS to get the word out, to let people know they can win. They have an opportunity to win if they're willing to listen, stop blocking their blessings, give themselves a chance to win. Yes, there's a lot of personal information, as you call your business, but the reality is they already have your business. They just want you to they, they just want you to verify the facts. That's
Really,
all.
because they're already looking at
They
it.
already,
I
they
got
already,
you.
they already have your information.
I
So
got you.
they just want you to verify, is this true? You know? And if it's true, based on the truth of what you just verified with us, then we will give you these benefits at this price. You see? So if I, this last 6 weeks, if we haven't done anything else, I just want you to give yourself an opportunity to pick up the phone and call an authorized representative. Go to healthcare.gov, put your state in, and it'll give you a list of all the authorized brokers who are in this business who are authorized to sell you the Affordable Care Act. See, we're not just anybody. We had to get trained on this stuff, and we had to take exams. You know, so because they wanted to be certain that what we were giving out to the public is absolutely the truth and correct and accurate. So that's why they have us, they scrutinize us so much to ensure that we are well trained in what it is we're sharing with the public.
Okay, and I understand that you just gave the website healthcare.gov,
Hmm.
but they can call you too, right?
They can call me as well.
Okay, give
So,
me
they,
that information.
so that number is 301
Mm-hmm.
925
Mm-hmm.
2050.
Okay.
And that's our company, alignbenefitsgroup.com. And this website, www.aligned benefits. Aligned, it has one L, and aligned is past tense. So aligned, ALIGNED, benefits with an S, group, GROUP, incorporated, or .com if you string the words all together and you have the website.
Oh, I just know, and I just know that. Okay, too many times we sit up and we're looking for information, we're looking for guidance. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to start, and we're talking to you right now.
Hmm.
We are being taught by you right now. So I definitely want to make sure that people can reach you with all of their healthcare questions, because I do agree, good health equals good wealth. Because as long as I'm healthy, I can, make the money that I need. I can keep on ticking. I can,
Yeah.
go ahead.
And the other thing about this is that because a lot of the agencies, they'll have late hours, especially like this last when it comes for the last couple of days, they'll be open on Saturdays, in some cases Sundays. You know, but those of us who are brokers, we know that you work hard during the day. That's why we're available to you guys often in the evenings, 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, because we know that you can barely breathe at work. A lot of the jobs are working you to the nth degree.
Yeah.
So we know that, that's why I take a lot of calls after 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. and 8 p.m., as you and I have spoken this week,
Right.
that
Right.
that I'm there to still try to help. Now, at some point, I will go to bed and get some sleep. You know. By the way, the number is 925 301 925 301
My
925
correction.
2050. Yeah. Oh,
301
925.
925.
Yeah, 2050.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. So anyway, so I get lots of calls at different points in time, all hours of the night sometimes. And of course, I'm not going to call you at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
But when I get up the next morning, I'll try to return your call. You know, and if it's something that I can't do, there are enough people in this business I can refer you to help complete the process. If I don't
That
think
was
that
going to
I
be
can,
my next question. Like,
yeah,
if you're not, if you can't help them or you can't write them up or in a particular state, you can always refer them
I
to
can refer
someone.
them to other people around the country that can actually help them, and where to go, what site to go to, and a lot of times I've given people that exact advice, and they've gone to healthcare.gov, and they put in their zip code, and they find out when they get to their state, they'll have a whole list of authorized representatives that can actually help you through the process.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So we have about 20 minutes left. I want to try and recap our last 6 weeks here.
Okay.
We've talked about the importance of open enrollment. We've talked about the importance of you getting yourself covered right now, getting yourself educated on the coverage that you need right now. We've talked about, even from an employer standpoint, with open enrollment, with health coverage. We've talked about a lot of people that are thinking just because they're self-employed and they make 40, $50,000 that they're automatically kicked out of the bracket. All of these good meaty topics that we've had, has really taught our OPNS family a different way and a different perspective to look at things. You want to chime in on any of those things as we recap these last
Yes.
6 weeks?
Yes. And so for the self-employed people, you have to remember that it's not your gross income, it's your gross income minus your expenses. It's what the net income is that they look at. As I have people grossing over $100,000, but when they got to the net income, they qualify for Medicaid and they get free coverage. You know, so you don't know that, but see, you won't know until you apply. So what happens? A lot of people keep trying to figure stuff in their head. They have their own set of rules, but the rules that you have and the rules that you go by are not the rules that the system is using at all. For example, um, one of the things that people think, when you think about a full-time employee, most people think, and employers think, it means working 40 hours a week. And the Affordable Care Act is working 30 hours a week, not 40 hours a week.
Mm.
They consider anybody that works 30 hours a week is considered full-time.
Full time. So different language, like what you were talking about
Different
earlier.
language, right?
Different language. So I want to make sure that I get this verbiage right. Self-employed people, their gross income minus their net,
Minus
or minus all
their
of the
minus
expenses.
their expenses.
Okay.
And that gives them the net.
Okay.
And then what happens is that we make the determination, not me personally, but the system will make the determination based on that net income to qualify you.
Okay.
So, because a lot of people think, I make all this money, I can't. And the other big mistake that people make is they say, well, rather than pay these premiums, I'd rather go it alone. I'm gonna go it on my own.
Mm.
Now that's like saying, um, the insurance companies and Medicare and all these organizations, they have already negotiated the best discounts with the carriers. I mean, with the providers of service, and it's about maybe 75% discount. Okay, if you walk in there by yourself without being a member of the insurance club, so to speak, that's negotiated this deal. Why would they give you that type of discount? And even if you have your own money, why would you want to pay 4 times more money for service that the insurance company is getting at a 75% discount? and you don't want to pay the premium because you don't want the 75% discount, you know?
It, say that again. That was good. You don't want a premium because you don't want the 75%
Yeah,
discount.
you don't want to pay the. It's like let's put let me put it in another term. You know, a lot of people join organizations like Costco, for example, right? And they say, look, the premium here is your membership. You
Right.
become a member and you get these great discounts. And then you say, no, I ain't going to pay for that membership.
That's good.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Nah, I don't want that. Nah, I love those discounts, but there's a membership. Oh, no, I can't pay that. That's too high. Well,
That's good.
you
That's
see?
good. I think people don't realize that it's almost like being a part of an exclusive club.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said before, this thing was designed out of necessity of the school teachers in Dallas, Texas in 1929 when
That needed the health
that
coverage.
needed health coverage. So they all agreed to pay a monthly payment so they would be covered. That's and what happens is that because we don't know who's going to be sick, the way it works with pooling is that 20% of the people will be sick. You just don't know when your time comes up. So this year you're healthy, but next year you might be sick. So what happens is that 20% of the people use up 80% of the monies that's paid. That's how that
Oh wow.
it's an 80-20 rule. You see, so what happens is like a round robin. So year one, you paid your 50 cents premium and you weren't sick. So a lot of people say, oh, I never get sick. Why do I need to pay that 50 cents? Why do I need to pay the membership fee? Why do I need to pay the premium? I
Okay.
never get sick. I'm always healthy. I never get sick. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do this. I don't do that.
Okay.
That's not the point. The point is that you are insuring against the probability of sickness, against the fact that you could get sick. And because it's so unpredictable, you cover yourself. When you buy a house, you cannot buy the house without the house insurance because you say,
That's
I'm
right.
I'm a good
That's
person.
right.
I don't start fires. Well,
That's
we
right.
know that. We
We
understand
think
that.
that.
But should there be a fire, you're
You
covered.
need to be covered.
You have to be
Right.
covered. And can you afford to rebuild your house all over again from scratch? Can you imagine trying to rebuild your house and you didn't have any insurance on your house and now and because what the bank's going to tell you is that you were supposed to maintain the insurance. As far as the bank is concerned, if you let the insurance lapse, you are now in foreclosure.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah.
You go to foreclosure because
Ooh.
you are not paying for the bank's interest in that house. Well, that's why when they say when you pay your mortgage, it's principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. PITI. That is, and that makes up the mortgage payment together. Principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So it's always paid,
It,
and they always pay the homeowner's insurance a year in advance.
it's almost like we're doing things to obtain tangible things.
Yes,
We're spending money to take care of property,
right.
but we hesitate to do the exact same thing
For our health.
to take care of this body, our
Yes,
health.
yes. Now,
Wow.
now listen. We understand that insurance is expensive. We know it's expensive as a mortgage sometimes. But the point is that that's why the Affordable Care Act came into
Affordable
existence.
Care Act. Right.
That came into
Right.
existence that said, hey, listen, this stuff is going to be unaffordable. Almost nobody can afford it anymore. So the Affordable Care Act said, hey, listen, what we're going to do, we're going to base this thing on your income. And we know statistically that if the premiums go above a certain amount, roughly 10% of your income is deemed unaffordable, okay, at that point. But that's why they make the employers make sure that the premiums are below the 10% rule. You see? So they want to make sure the premiums are below that 10% of your income so it
Right.
stays affordable.
So it stays affordable.
So what happens is that you're kind of giving up a certain portion of that to happen. Now, I will tell you this from another perspective. This is something that I personally believe in. Um, my wife and I are tithers in our church. When I first got started, I should think, man, 10%, 10%. Oh my God, this is like blah 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 blah. So when I started reading scripture And say, just think about it. All the money you make belongs to God anyway. All He asks you to do is just give 10% back.
10%.
10%. In other words, God gives us 10 apples,
Mm-hmm.
and all He does is just give me one back.
Give me one back.
Just give me one. You keep the other nine.
Mm-hmm.
And what I found is that the nine apples gets blessed and it'd be like 10 apples anyway.
Yes.
So you see, so because I can't eat 10 anyway. But my point is that that's how I kind of see life. We have to, in our segment in our life, we have to understand how our society is formed. And our society is trying to say, look, if you want these things, we can provide, but everybody's got to participate. If some people participate and some people don't participate, then it doesn't work. See, because what you have happen is that only the people who are sick will participate. We need the healthy and the sick to participate to make it all work, because that's what makes it work. You see?
Mm.
So if people who are healthy saying, "Oh no, that's just those old folks over there, or it's just these people over here that have diabetes," blah 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 blah. Well, then if you do all that all the time, you'll never understand the concept of pooling. We are pooling our money for the time that when our turn comes, where let's say it gets to be something that you have a car accident, or you have anything. That's the whole point of it all. We are pooling our money in the eventuality of a catastrophe happening to us, so that we have the finances to recover and get back on our feet and start all over again without going bankrupt.
I just hear it plain as day. Put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so and how I look at tithing is that if I don't pay my tithe, I can't ask the Lord for the blessings. That I'm like, and he's like, look, dude, you know my will. I'm working through you, homie. I told you put 10% in there. You sitting there fighting and fussing about stuff.
Oh my Lord.
You're just fighting about this and that. I mean,
The understanding of God's language and the parables of His language just always blows my mind.
yeah,
And when you understand, because someone who does not understand and does not get it, they'll say in a heartbeat. So what are you saying? I have to pay for my blessings? No. So as a man thinketh, so is he. And
yes,
if you understand the concept of, first of all, not questioning your daddy when he told you to do something,
right,
just
right,
go ahead and get her done.
right.
You'll, be able to see the great reward on the other side. But it's about what we focus on. And I love the fact that you use that way, because I tell people all the time, and I have had some discussions that the enemy wanted to turn into an argument
Yes,
about, tithing and offering. But when you are in a certain headspace, in a certain spirit space, you understand the blessing in giving. A
yes,
lot of people are so ready to position themselves to receive. Okay, give me this, give me this, give me this, but they're not willing to be of good service.
right.
And your blessing is on the other side of servitude.
Yes.
A lot like what you're doing today.
Hmm.
And I just I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough. And if nothing else, I pray that people get it, that people see, and that they understand that, for such a time as this, the world has been shut down. You can't go to and fro like you normally would, but God has still created a way of escape. I love the way He brings scripture on up in the middle of this.
Oh
He's
yeah.
created a way of escape. All you got to do is stay tuned in and hear His word, hear His doctrine, take advantage of the opportunities and the wisdom and the knowledge that He's placing before you to help you in what seems to be a hard time or a dead time or a tumultuous time. He got us, and right here, I have repositioned myself, my family, better than I was positioned before you joined us here at OPNS. And
Hmm.
so for me, I just do know that is the Lord saying, servant, well done. Because
Hmm.
if I can reach just one, you
Just
know,
one.
and I know you got this one, and I
Right.
know it's a couple of more, but we know that you got this one,
Right. 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 Right.
um,
Right.
and which means now I can be of good service to someone else. I can teach someone else. I can guide someone somewhere else. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yes.
Right here to
Absolutely.
you to be able to grow in their best place too. I think us as a people, I'm gonna keep it personal. The African American population, we need to understand something. We can take and complain all day long about not getting certain respect or certain attention when we're going to the doctor or we're going to, the hospital, or we're not getting the best health care, best health coverage, all of that. Position yourself for the argument to actually have some validity.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you haven't done your part, then really we have no room to argue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I often tell people that I see people buying, expensive coffee, expensive this, that, and the other. They want to be seen, the
Come
social
on, Mr.
scene.
Poole.
Um,
Yes.
and I tell them, I said, listen, if you want Black Lives to matter, why don't you put a $10 policy on your child? And then if that child gets
Whew.
hit or shirt or shot or anything like that, now the insurance companies have to pay. Now Black Lives Matters in a larger sense in the larger society because you were smart enough to insure your child. You see, so and then if you're renting an apartment, you've got to get renter's insurance because if you get blown out, fired, fire starts or what have you, that would pay for you to be put up somewhere, so you don't have to be homeless. But we will spend our money on all these other things, because we're not taking the basic steps to protect ourselves, you see. And now some people look at it as me criticizing them. I'm not criticizing them. What I'm saying is that let's take the dollars that we have. Let's give ourselves the protections that we need to do. Let's protect our family. Let's protect our children. Let's put some insurance on them. So if they get hurt or die, what have you, I don't want to do a GoFundMe account. I want to know. See, if I put insurance on, I know what I'm going to get. You see, I don't know what I'm going to get in GoFundMe.
Right.
Because
Right.
GoFundMe is no planning at all in that
Right.
regard. Because you see, what you're doing with insurance is you're pre-planning that should something happen, I've insured my family, and my house is well prepared.
As opposed to gambling
As opposed
on
to gambling
somebody's heart being
on
moved.
somebody's heart being able to help you because you may not get anything out of that.
Right. Right.
And so I just think that we just need to do a little bit of pre-planning, especially in our community. We just need to do a little bit more pre-planning, and I say this in all humility and love for our community because I'm on this because I love our community. I love ourselves. I love
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Mm-hmm.
us.
Mm-hmm.
I love people. I just want us to get an opportunity to win. If I could show you a way to win, just that little bit way to win, you'd be so happy because you are winning. You're winning because you made the decision. Just making the decision alone is a winning position. You know, you can't lose making a good decision. It's hard to do that.
You can't lose making a good decision. That's good.
You know,
That's
and
good.
so if your heart and your mind is willing to be open to these ideas, these concepts, we're happy to share them with you because we simply want you to win. And as I said
Mm.
before, a lot of things when we go on programs and things, we put our money where our mouth is.
Amen.
And as you know, we put our money where our mouth was
Right.
because we're so committed to this. And if you don't ever meet a committed person in your life, I pray that you meet more committed people, committed to your success in Christ Jesus, and committed to your success in your finances. If we can help you do that,
Mm.
praise God.
Praise God. And as we get ready to close here, that's it. That's it right there.
Hmm.
Understanding that we the people, we the kingdom of God,
Hmm.
are we are already being held accountable by God.
Hmm.
And a lot of us wonder why things ain't necessarily going the way we want them to go because you're not doing what he positioned you to do.
Hmm.
You're more so concentrating on the I aspect of things
Right.
as opposed to understanding that we grow best together.
That's right.
We are in this together.
Right. We're definitely
We are
right.
supposed to support each other. But the world is drowning on what works best for me. I can do this. I can do that. And you said something that is just really profound to me. Understanding that giving of yourself, putting your money where your mouth is, actually doing the work, you already know because you've done the work through Christ Jesus that you're already victorious.
That's
You
right.
know, the repayment that God gives us as his kingdom, as his foot soldiers, as I, borrowed a quote from Bella, those boots on the ground. We're
Right.
busy, you
Right.
know. There is a peaceful mindset of understanding because I'm busy about my father's business,
Hmm.
because I'm not dismissing one of his children. I'm already victorious.
That's
The
right.
abundant blessing already has my name on it.
That's right.
And I'll close with this. I told one of my mentees on the other day, you know, it's amazing. We've been walking around armed with what we need and what it takes to be successful in this world. We just had to make the choice to tap into it.
Hmm.
When you tell God that for you I live and for you I'll die, you
Hmm.
are the head. I'm sold out for some Jesus. You are
Hmm.
walking around with a big winner stamp on your forehead,
That's right.
regardless of what goes on, regardless of who says what, regardless of who does what. Who cares that this person may not support your business endeavor? Get
Right.
your focus off of that. Just
That's
be
right.
more so focused about completing the journey that God has placed you on. They'll either catch up or get left.
Hmm.
But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to cost myself the abundant blessings that God has promised me because
Hmm.
I'm trying to chase after this one. No, I'm supposed to plant the seed, which is what you have done for us, Mr. Poole.
Hmm.
Plant the seed, and now it's up for our life to water this thing accordingly. You
Yes.
know, I thank you so much. I thank you so much for becoming a part of the family here at OPNS. There's been so many people that has reached out and let me know, you know what? I'm glad that you brought this man on because now that helps me understand, you know what? Instead of paying that $50,000 bill, all I had to do was make a phone call, point out of this, point out of that. Girl, that bill was reduced. That is what this platform is for. We
Hmm.
growing best together. So I am
Absolutely.
so grateful that you have not considered it robbery to grow us here at OPNS. So thank you so very much. Guys, as we get ready to close, the number to reach Mr. Poole at Aligned Benefits Group is 301-925-2050. I've placed it over in the comments. The next move is yours to make. He's letting you know open enrollment deadline for Georgia is when, Mr. Poole?
December 15th,
And you have some northern states and western states, their deadline is when?
January 15th.
So if you have another question, it seems like you need to get to dial it or email it because at the end of the day, you are in control of setting up your life, or at least you should be. Let today be the first day that you decide to take control because I'd rather you reposition yourself to live your best life, your best health life, as opposed to drowning in a whole bunch of unnecessary bills that, you know what, if you'd have took heed to the good doctrine that God has placed before us on this live broadcast, you could have saved yourself some money. Aligned Benefits Group, definitely. I'm grateful to be connected and to be a part. Don't you dare discount this opportunity to grow to your next best place. Thank you so very much, Mr. Poole. Do you have,
Thank
and
you.
I would like to ask you if you have any closing words, but the last thing you said is stuck with me. If you have anything else, here we grow. And if not, we're going to go on and see what the end is going to be. Mr. Poole?
I would just say, don't be afraid to give yourself the opportunity to succeed in life. Don't whatever blocks or ideas or stereotypes that you have in your mind about anything, especially with insurance. Understand that there are people um, who are making a difference in this world every day, who are there to help you and will help you if you just give yourself a chance to believe that they will help you. And don't be discouraged at the first sign of trouble. You know, don't give up because you say to yourself, "Oh, I thought it was this or I thought it was that." Because sometimes what looks like an impossibility at first turns around to be a tremendous blessing because you didn't give up at the first sign of trouble.
Mm.
And I would say that's probably one of the biggest things I see people do. The first sign of trouble, they give up. Don't do that. I can't tell you the number of times that if I had given up, I don't know where I'd be today if I had given up because I saw a little snow on the ground or
Mm.
a little rain in the sky.
Mm.
Don't do that, please. Let God bless you. That's all I can tell you. Let God bless you.
Let God bless you. Hey, there's no better way we can end this. Thank you so very much, Mr. Poole. God bless you and abundant blessings to you and your family for the servitude that you have given us here at OPNS. Thank you so very much. OPNS family, here we grow. And I just do know that these last 6 weeks, this little girl has grown. I'm pretty sure that you have too. And yes, I'm still a little girl and I'm going to keep it right there. I love you guys to life. OPNS 97.1. Thank you for chiming into this live. Now go on over to the station and glide through your day with all of the blessed melodies. I'm Shanta Moore, Inspiration Zone. This has been a good one. Thank you, Mr. Poole. God
Thank
bless you,
you.
OPNS. See you soon.
God bless.